Welcome to another edition of the Business Buzz. We have a very special show tonight. We have Hal Tweety from Dream Bigger Coaching, and this subject is very relevant, especially in today's tumultuous times. People need a strategy, both personal strategy as well as a business strategy to make it through today's difficult times. And Hal, welcome to the Business Buzz.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well, thanks for coming on. I guess first of all, maybe you can talk a little bit about your background and what got you interested in coaching.
Well, I do a variety of coaching. I do business marketing coaching, and I do what's called life coaching, which isn't my favorite term because it sounds pretentious. But I help people get to a better frame of mind so that they can succeed in what it is they want to do. So in a business marketing sense, I've had a advertising agency for over 20 years, and I did marketing coaching all that time. Mm-hmm. So I've got a pretty good background in that, and before that I worked for a company. I managed a company that needed all my skills of marketing and all the broad range of skills that you cut your teeth on.
So your kind of past experience really brought you to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I always felt like I was moving to this point where I could move away from commercial and start helping people one-to-one, and so much more satisfying.
Oh, great. So you wake up in the morning and you're kind of exhilarated and pumped.
I actually am.
Very good.
I get up in the morning and my mind is already singing a tune,
Great, that's fantastic, and we all should be so lucky.
Yeah.
Why do people need coaching or a coach like yourself? I mean, let's take a couple of scenarios. We're in obviously a difficult economic time. Let's say people are looking for a job. Why would they need, or how could they benefit from your coaching strategies and techniques?
Well, I think that when we're doing anything we do, we have what I call the outer game or the inner game, and it applies to just about everything. If you're let's say out of a job, maybe down on your luck, your outer game can be one thing. You can be showing a very big front and feign confidence, but if your inner game isn't working for you, you'll never get that job. Mm-hmm. So I work on the inner game. I work on a lot, one-to-one, trying to help people who are looking for a job set goals for themselves. And in setting the goals, creating a large goal and then several smaller goals that'll reach you there. Mm-hmm. And because of my marketing background, I also am pretty creative. So when we're working together trying to find work, first I want to find out what this person really needs to be happy. Oftentimes it's not the job they lost, but it's something altogether different, something perhaps they've always wanted to do but thought they never could. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we start talking about those dreams, the good things start to happen to them. They start to put themselves in a frame of mind that is not from lack, but from abundance. They believe that they actually can succeed. So, whereas before they might have been downsized or lost their job and are finding it hard to find a job, mostly that's understandable because you're not feeling so good about yourself.
Sure.
So once you begin to say, wait a minute, that's not going to happen to me. Wait a minute, I'm saying that's not going to happen to me. It's a declaration. It's part of a process you've heard before, the power of positive thinking.
Yes.
Or they call it the law of attraction, all kinds of names. But the bottom line is that if you believe and declare that it's not going to be that way, that you are going to have a future that you can imagine in detail right now, then it starts to happen, and I see it every single week.
You really do. So people, let's say we're in business, in marketing, mm-hmm. in procurement, mm-hmm. and they want to be in some kind of dramatic arts.
Absolutely.
They can actually use the skills they've had before.
Absolutely.
And try to transition.
Absolutely. They can, because they will put into motion by a positive frame of mind. They'll put into motion things we can't even see right now. But I'll tell you how many times it happens after we've met, we've talked, we've worked through ideas about what they'd really like to be. I get a call like 3 days later, Hal, you wouldn't believe what happened. And I say, yes, I would.
And you think it's a law of attraction?
You know, I don't even try to think that deeply. Yes, I think it's the law of attraction, but I don't even like the term law of attraction. I think that we have power within us to create our own future. You know, that we have God-given talents that were not ours. They were given to us when we were born, and we might have made them better. We might have enhanced them, but we can do something, everybody can do something that no one else can do. And when you understand why you're here, this is inner work, when you understand why you're here on this earth, and you understand how your unique skills can be put to use to that purpose, then the next thing you know, opportunity starts to drop.
And that's opposed to the traditional, let's say, job seeker who's just plugging along without direction, without a purpose, just kind of floundering around.
Well, evidence proves that.
Proves that.
Sure, absolutely. And those who really get it's about it's about the definition of success. If we define success by how much power we have or how much money we have, that's only a very small part of it. Success really is how much we're contributing to the world and how that makes us feel, and you know, whether or not we can see our future as being that of improving other people's lives, which then improves your lives. It's really about if businessman or woman or anyone else. It's really about creating value for someone else. It could be a value in a product that you're manufacturing. It could be a value in a service. It could be any number of things. But it all goes back to this idea that you have certain gifts that no one else has, and when you apply those gifts to the reason you're here, and you understand that, everything starts to fall in place. It's not magic. It just happens that way.
So you need a kind of a game plan, and you need to believe in yourself.
Yes, I'll give you a little illustration.
Go ahead.
And this is something I use to test this idea all the time. Now, I'm a guy who likes old cars. I like antique cars. I've rebuilt a couple of them. I've had old sports cars, especially I like European sports cars. So I decided one day a couple of months back that I want to see if this works. And again, and I've proven this several times. So I said to myself, okay, I want to see a gray Aston Martin DB4, and I want to see it passing me on Route 84 by exit 15, and I want it to be driven by a gray-haired guy. And then I would dwell on that for a minute. I would describe the car in my head. I would describe the knockoff wheels, the lights, all the things that I like. And I would imagine it very clearly as though it already happened. I would see it as it passed me as I was driving down the highway. Now, you know probably that a DB4 is a very rare car. You don't see many of them. Okay. Well, it didn't happen right away. It happened about 2.5 weeks later, and I had completely forgotten about that idea. I just put it out of my head. And all of a sudden, I'm driving down around exit 17, actually, and I look up, and there's a gray DB4 coming my way on the opposite side, and it's being driven by a woman. But it's close enough.
Yes, I would go with that, considering the rarity of the car.
Now, I've done that a number of times. Now, did I create that? No. But did I contribute to at least my awareness of that when it comes right in front of me? Because things come right in front of you. Opportunities are right in front of you every day. If you're not in a mindset to explore them or to see them as opportunities, what are your chances?
You're not going to realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll just go right over you.
Well, you'll become one of these guys who says, well, I got to send resumes here and here and here and here and here, and sit back and wait. And there's so many guys out there right now who are not finding work. They're disheartened because they believe that they're not going to find work, first of all, and they follow a traditional path of trying to find a job, and it just doesn't work these days.
What does then?
Well, what does then is to get a coach. A little plug, but what really does work is to stop looking, first of all, and to sit and assess where you are in your life, what it is you'd really like to be doing. If what you've been doing is something you really want to continue doing, then discover what companies are out there that might have a need for your services. Don't apply to them, but try and sit and figure out a way that you can be of value to them, that you can offer something that they've never thought of before, and that you can approach them in a completely different way. Usually when you approach a bigger company and it's straight through HR, you're going to wait months if you hear anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you can come up with an idea, especially if you're really good at your job and you can come up with an idea and say to someone there, I've been looking at your company and I think I can save your company maybe 20 grand on just what I see as waste, and where I came from, we didn't do that. We saved a lot of money. Mm-hmm. They're paying attention to you.
Yes.
So it's totally a matter of the inner game and how you regard yourself. Are you worthy of a new job? Are you think you can handle it? If you don't think you can handle it, get some support. Mm-hmm. That's where coaching or family or anyone else comes in, because they see you differently than you see yourself. Mm-hmm. And it helps to have an advocate.
Yeah, and you are an advococate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. And you've gotten some success with job hunters?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have. I found work for 2, 3, 4 people this year, and I'm not looking to do that. I mean, that's sort of a
side.
No, it just happens.
Oh, okay.
I really want someone to come to me and really say, okay, I've done this all my life and it hasn't been working, or I'm at that age, what I call the third age, when the kids are grown, they're out of the house. Now what do I do, kind of thing. And then I really want to help a client right from that point on. Let's see what you would do tomorrow if you woke up in the morning, sun was shining, and you got out of bed, you put your feet on the floor, you looked over to your bedside stand and opened the drawer and looked at your bank book. That's where everybody keeps their bank book, mm-hmm. right? And you looked in your bank book and said, yep, I got $8 million. I don't have to work today. And you have to do something, and really, what are you going to do? And to begin to visualize that, no matter how desperate, depressed you feel, and I do this every day. I had a client yesterday, just came in cold and never thought about, I'm never going to get a job. But begin to think of what you would do anyway if you didn't need to have a job. What would you do? This particular person said, well, like so many people who have a philanthropic sense, they said to me, well, if I had all that money, I'd buy some land, and I would create a preserve for endangered species. And then they said to me, that's never going to happen. That can't happen. It's this big dream. And I said, okay, well, tell me one endangered species. Just tell me one endangered species in Connecticut. And they told me this. About 2 birds. I don't remember what they were, a thrush and something. Just 2 birds that they could think of right now that were on the endangered species list. And I said, well, okay, what could you do to save 1 bird? What could you do to save 1 bird? And how can you use your